It is almost the end of the year, which is a scary thought. So I thought I would discuss the top 3 series that I want to finish this year. They are series that I started this year and haven't finished yet, and talk about the readathon that I'm going to use to help me finish these series. I will have timestamps on this video, so if you just want to know about the series that I want to finish, you can just watch that part of the video. If you want to know about the readathon and not about the series that I want to finish, you can just watch the readathon part of the video. And with that, let's get into it. The first series that I want to finish this year is the Murderbot Diaries. I am currently reading this. I'm actually doing a read along for this, so I feel like there's a very high chance that I will actually finish this series this year. I have read the first 3 books, so I've read All Systems Red, Artificial Condition, and Rogue Protocol so far, and I plan on reading the rest of the published books this year. Systems Collapse is being published in November, and I hope to finish System Collapse this year. But if I don't, I at least want to finish all of the books that were published prior to this year. If you don't know, the Murderbot Diaries are about a robot who has hacked into his control module and basically turned that off, and he could have turned into a murderous robot, but then he found entertainment and he downloaded all of these TV series, and that's his favorite thing to do. He's quite antisocial. He doesn't really like humans, but the humans make the entertainment, and he does like that. And he also ends up, I feel like Murderbot's a big softie because he ends up helping humans along the way, even whenever he doesn't have to. And I found these stories really entertaining. I'm enjoying it. The next series I really want to finish this year is the Poppy War series. I read the first book, The Poppy War, at the beginning of this year, and I absolutely loved it. I was kind of obsessed, just like talking about the Poppy War all the time. And then I got distracted by other books and did not continue with the Poppy War series. So I really, really want to finish the Poppy War series this year. The Poppy War is kind of a historical fantasy, or maybe an alternative setting to our actual world. So it's not like technically set in our actual world, but it is very heavily inspired by events in the Sino-Japanese War. The first half of the book is kind of like military training school, and then the second half of the book is it is war now. And of course, there's magic, and our main character may or may not have the ability to use magic. I am really planning on finishing that series, or at least continuing on to the next book this year and finishing it in the next couple months. The next series I really want to finish before the end of the year is the Temeraire series. I have actually read this entire series previously, though it's been a few years since I've actually read the entire thing. I've reread the first book multiple times, pretty much every year. This is one of my favorite dragon fantasy series. This is a historical fantasy. It's set during the Napoleonic War, and our main character accidentally becomes a dragon rider. He's actually a naval captain, and whenever he finds this dragon egg, whenever he attacks this enemy ship, and he finds a dragon egg aboard, and the dragon hatches, and he becomes the dragon rider for this dragon and has to enter the Air Force. The best part of this series is the bond between dragon and dragon rider. So the dragon is Temeraire and the dragon rider is Lawrence, and just seeing their bond is absolutely amazing. I have read 5 of the 9 books so far this year, so I do have 4 more books to read to finish my reread of that series. They are fairly short books, so I'm hoping to get to those before the end of the year. I will also have a bonus 4th series that I will talk about at the end of this video, but first I want to talk about the readathon. So this readathon is part of my goal for finishing series before the end of the year. This is a readathon for anyone who is currently in the middle of a series or wants to binge an entire series. This is the Finish That Series readathon, which takes place from November 1st to November 30th. For the entire month of November, we will be focusing on reading sequels. There are a handful of things for this readathon. It's fairly laid back and just focusing on trying to finish series or read sequels. Firstly, the way to win this readathon is to read 1 sequel during November. Though we will have a readathon chat, and you're encouraged to set your own goals to read as many sequels in November as you want and to finish as many series as you can. These can be series that you started in November or series that you started previously and are trying to finish or continue in November. And we also have an optional bonus bingo. Of course, the biggest thing you have to do for this readathon, and that is the center square of this bingo, is to read one sequel. Although there is a square on here for reading a second sequel and for finishing a series. I tried to make this bingo as fun as possible for everyone while just encouraging reading more. And, encouraging reading sequels. The readathon chat will be in my Discord, and I also plan on hosting reading sprints in my Discord throughout the month of November. So if you're interested in that, all of that will be linked in the description. I also have all of this information on my Instagram, including the bingo, if you follow along on Instagram and want to update the bingo there. My goal in November is to go for the blackout bingo, though I was the one who created the bingo board. So a traditional bingo is really all you need to get bingo for this readathon. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And with that, let's get into the fourth series I would love to finish before the end of the year. This series, I'm not really sure that I'm going to get to all of the books before the end of the year, but this was a part of my 23 books I want to read in 2023, and I've not made enough progress. So I want to finish the third arc of the Wings of Fire series. I have read the first and second arc previously, and I've not read any of the books in the third arc, and there are 5 books in the third arc of the Wings of Fire. Hopefully I can get to this series before the end of the year, although I have a feeling this is one I'm going to be carrying into next year. Let me know if you have any reading plans for the end of the year, and if there are any series you are in the middle of that you really need to finish soon. And with that, I hope to see you in another video. Happy reading!